Did you see that video going around?
Which
I
one?
saw it on Twitter. It was this one girl, and she was told by the book community that she should get into fantasy books. And so they all recommended Crooked Kingdom and Six of Crows to her. I don't remember which book's first. I think it's Six of Crows.
Yes. Shouldn't you know that?
Why me? But she started reading Six of Crows, and she got 30 pages in.
Oh, I saw
and
this.
She was like hating on it, but it was very much like, look at this book. And she opened it. Look at how much space is left between the side and where the words start. It's like too many words.
She opened the book and was like, there's just so many words. And she was like flipping the pages, like so many words.
Yeah. So she was saying that she was thinking of DNFing, and she did end up DNFing after finishing part 1, which was 100 pages in.
Well, and then she also said, I don't even know what a Grisha is.
Yeah.
She didn't know if it was a place or a person.
Mm-hmm. Me
I
when
thought
I
it was so... Okay, here's my thing. I think it's funny because out of all the books, Six of Crows was so confusing.
It was really confusing.
But the plot.
Mm-hmm. I feel like if starting with fantasy, these Hollow Vows is a pretty good one to start with.
That is a good one.
I recommend that to you. If
Thank
you're
you.
out there seeing it.
If you're watching
I
this.
actually don't have anything against her. I thought it was pretty funny.
I thought it was so funny too.
I remember when we filmed Shadow and Bone, and both you and I were like really confused.
Mm-hmm.
And then we filmed Six of Crows, and in between then I had read every single book.
You really
And I
have.
was just like, okay, let me tell you about the Grishaverse.
Mm-hmm.
So, I mean,
Wait, what does she read normally? Do you know?
she just reads spice,
Oh, just
romance
spice.
and spice.
Oh, okay. Well,
So that's why people were judging her. There were a lot of comments that were basically saying, well, if this is you complaining, like, do you even read actual books? Like, is all you read just spice?
oh God.
Yeah.
Ooh. I wonder, did she say anything after?
No. Well, the second video she had posted, from what I know, is just her saying that she did put it down. She didn't finish it.
She couldn't finish it.
I don't blame her. You remember how long it took me to get through Six of Crows?
Dude, oh my God. I wish I still had the audio notes. Cheli sent me audio notes when you were reading Six of Crows and you were just like, I don't know what the fuck is happening. I had to reread every page and I started taking fucking notes.
Yeah.
I started taking fucking notes on that shit. I thought that was so funny.
But I think the beauty of fantasy is that you don't have to take it that seriously.
I don't think so either. And also,
Yeah.
it's nice to figure things out as you go along. It's kind of like a fucking mystery book. You just have to keep going and you'll just understand the world better.
And like
hopefully.
you said, and as much as I love Lee Bardugo's Grishaverse, like that's not the one I think you should start with. I did. I like the Grishaverse a lot. But then we read her other books, The Ninth House and Hellbent.
Oh, yeah.
And both you and I just kind of let her go.
After that, we just kind of stopped.
Do you remember when she was doing a book tour for The Familiars really close to us? And I was like, should we go? And you were just kind of like, do you want to?
No.
Is that something?
Well, I did ask you. If you,
and then we watched the trailer for the book.
No,
right?
I asked you to read the summary of the book, and you read the summary of the book, and we were both kind of just like, never mind. You know what? Suddenly that was gone. That fuel we needed.
Yeah, I miss the spark that was between me and Lee.
It's gone for
no
now.
longer there.
It'll come back.
I feel like people came too hard on that girl. It's not that.
Oh,
the girl who did not like Six of Crows. It's not that deep.
I don't think it's that serious either, but people take things way too freaking seriously.
And you know what? There were too many words on that book. No, it's funny too because we read pretty thick books.
Imagine you respond to that and be like, wait, hold on. Have you read this book?
Have you read this?
And it's
the Bible.
Akatar.
Oh.
It's like Akatar is like, this one has too many fucking words.
No, for me, to defend that, I don't mind reading long books. But
No,
if
me
you
neither.
give me something with fucking 10 font, my poor old eyes can't fucking handle that anymore. It hurts. So yes, I complain. When I'm on my Kindle, I put that shit on the biggest setting.
Yeah.
One letter at a time.
Oh my god. No, you guys might think she's joking, but she's serious.
Yeah,
and
I'm
she
actually-
has her phone, her tablet, everything at the brightest fucking
Because I
setting.
can't see.
And I'm just like, dude, I'm gonna go blind.
It was so funny because the other day my student needed help on an assignment and they were doing it on their computer. And I I dim my lights so it's on, but very little. And, it was super calm in my class. And she was like, Miss, can you look at number 3 for me? Oh, yeah, sure, sweetie. And I come over and her thing was super low. So without warning her, I just made the brightness like really high. And I just hear her go, ah! I'm so sorry. I can't see.
It's serious.
Yes, there were too many words on that page. I'm a defender of that.
I don't think it's that serious. I mean, if she only seeks out smut, romance, contemporary romance, whatever. If she wanted to do fantasy, there are like cozy fantasies she could read.
Yeah.
Or
you should start with Kimberly Lemming. That's a good one. That's a cozy fantasy. Mm-hmm. And then work your way into it. And if for some reason fantasy is not for you, then it's not for you.
Yeah.
You don't have to get into something just because people say you have to. Mm-hmm. But I really hope this doesn't stray her away from trying fantasy. Mm-hmm. And I know I'm joking about a lot of words on a page, but it's also, if you don't like that denseness being so like lore heavy, I guess, in the fantasy realm, mm-hmm. It does happen, but there are some books that incorporate it throughout the story, so you don't have to get all the lore at once. Because I remember we really liked Misrule and Malice.
Malice was the first one.
Malice was the first one. But it did that. There were pages where it was just lore. Mm-hmm. And I understand why you would hate it.
And it can be exhausting, honestly.
Yeah.
I mean, if all we do is read, we shouldn't complain about reading because we read.
Yeah.
That's what we do. We do enjoy it. But sometimes we can be a little tired.
What is an aesthetic thing, like the too many words on a page, that you dislike? That you don't really bring up, but you're just like, I fucking hate when books do this. I have
aesthetic thing?
I have a little one.
What do you mean by aesthetic? I can't think of. I mean, if the font is too small.
Okay. That's one. Mm-hmm. I don't like it when chapters end on the bottom of the page. I like it when chapters end and you still have a little bit of the page left. So I know in my heart, okay, that's where the chapter ends. Now I start the next one. I don't like it when it just fills. I don't know, just the way it looks.
Oh, like fills up the whole page?
Yeah.
That's so funny because I think I prefer it when a chapter ends all the way at the bottom.
It's like satisfying.
Yeah, I'm like, you fucking made it. You made it, bitch. I don't know. I mean,
I don't like short chapters.
Oh, I love short chapters.
Oh my god,
that is funny. So funny because I used to not like short chapters. Mm-hmm. I think the first book that I can remember was V.E. Schwab's. Oh my god, what's that one really popular book that you didn't read? Addie LaRue. Addie LaRue. Thank you. Mm-hmm. That book. Can I finish my thought?
Go ahead. Sorry.
That's the first book that I can remember that the chapters were really short. But I kind of liked it. I don't know.
I like it.
Different vibe.
I like it when a chapter is short when everything else was long. Like, do you remember? And you didn't like this book.
Which one?
Chloe Gong's These Violent Delights.
I don't even remember that book anymore.
It's like the turning point of the book, and it's only one sentence when all the other chapters were like pretty long. So when a short chapter is short because it's impactful. Love that shit.
You mean when one random chapter has just like a sentence?
Yeah, I love that shit.
Oh, okay.
I love that shit.
Yeah, I mean,
but if everything's short, I'm just kind of like,
It's like poetry.
I don't want to go to the table of contents because what if I'm actually looking for a chapter and it's like, okay, out of all 700 chapters, yours is gonna be on page 3. Like, nah.
I mean, of course, that would suck. I never go to the table of contents. Why would I do that?
How do you feel about chapters that have titles?
I kind of miss it. I don't really think books do that anymore.
This book did.
Mm-hmm. But
I did like it.
Most books don't. I miss that.
Bring it back.
Our next book also did that too.
Oh, you're right.
Mm-hmm.
Oh my god.
Wait, is it coming back? Wait, I hope so.
I think that the girl on Twitter just be like a little kinder to her. I don't think she did anything wrong for having an opinion.
Well, I think people should just be kinder in general, but I don't want to be the be kind girl because look what happened to the last one.
Where is she?
What happened? You don't know who I'm talking about, do you?
No.
Ellen DeGeneres? Hello?
You're right. Okay.
All right, Cheli.
Yes.
Do you think a book where our main characters, both of our main characters, are writers who are in a little bit of a slump and they decide to spice things up a little bit and kind of genre swap so they write each other's genre, do you think that could possibly fix your life?
I think it can.
Welcome to another episode of the Book Fix Podcast, a podcast where we fix lives one book at a time. I'm your host, Yajaira.
And I'm your host, Cheli, and we are reading
Beach Read
by Emily Henry, another Emily Henry book.
So we're a podcast where if you have read the book, please sound off below. Let us know what you thought of the characters, of the plot, of the romance, of the ending. Let us know. And if we are also a podcast where if you have not read the book, that's okay because we're going to spoil the important parts. Or maybe.
We might not even say a single thing that happened in this
No,
book.
we definitely will. We definitely will.
But it'll be sprinkled in with a little bit of what we think too. Think of this like a fan fiction.
It's not a fan fiction. But it might be.
It might be. So I will say I did hear the audiobook for this book.
Okay.
So I'm going off the dome for this one. So can you remind me?
That's going to be great.
Remind me.
Me as fuck when I just listen to a book. Isn't that kind of interesting though, that when you listen to a book,
It's like a friend told you.
Yeah, but I don't know if you're the same way where I remember the book in parts. Like it's not exactly as it was told.
Yeah.
I have to like think back.
I feel like a friend told me chisme, like rumors, gossip, and now I'm sharing it with you.
Thank you, Queen. So the story basically starts off with our main character, January Andrews.
Yes.
And she says that she has a fatal flaw. And she reveals that she's a writer and she loves to write romance. She loves happy endings. And we're not going to say this in order, but she loves happy endings because she experienced her mother going through chemotherapy. She had breast cancer. And so ever since that moment, she just really sought out an escape through her writing.
And I think it helped because when her mom was first diagnosed with cancer, her dad was really the light levity of that moment because he made it seem as if this may be happening, but you know what? We're all in this together. They went to a bar, or not a bar, like a restaurant.
Okay.
And danced and sang and kind of made the moment lighter. And I guess ever since then, January has always just been an optimist, very hopeful of love.
Well, she did mention that her parents were always very loving to each other and they would constantly dance.
Yeah.
Like you said. So
But it's such a change, right? Because I remember as soon as you hit the second chapter, she's like, okay. Things have happened since then.
Yeah, so it was revealed that her father passed away from a stroke, I think. And he left her his beach house. Okay, things are told very out of order, but I'm just going to tell it
as is.
As it should have been told, I think. Anyway, we can discuss later. So things kind of blow up in January's life when she is at the funeral of her father and her mom goes to the bathroom, and I pictured this so fucking well. Like her mom was in the bathroom, she was outside of the bathroom waiting, and then this random ass lady goes up to her and is just like crying, and she's just like, "Oh my god, are you January? Are you Jan?" And she's just like looking at this lady, and she has this realization, like, "Oh my god, this woman is crying," and she's like excited to see me. No fucking way. And then her dad, hello, he's gone. Her mom comes out of the bathroom, sees this lady, and January could tell that her mom knew who this woman was. Yeah. And they just leave.
Well, it's because her mom looks and has this glare in her eyes and it's just like, Sonia,
you bitch. I don't remember when, but Sonia gives January
Who is here?
in this moment. So Sonia gives January the keys to the beach house, and then she also gives her letters that her father
One
wrote.
letter.
Was one letter?
It was one letter that she gave her.
But there was multiple letters though.
Yes, there was, but she gave her one letter.
Okay, so then she gave her the key and the letter, and
This beach house, your dad would have wanted it for you.
when January and her mom leave,
Mm-hmm.
January is trying to ask her mom about this woman,
Yeah.
and her mom shuts down.
Yeah.
She does not want to talk about it.
I think you can remind me if I'm wrong. Doesn't her mom say, like, none of that matters now anyway?
Yeah.
Like, why are you trying to remember the bad stuff?
Mhm.
Just remember the good, and that's all that matters.
Just remember your dad as like really nice, really sweet, loving.
It really sucks because then when we're put in the present time, January, she is moving into the beach house. So I don't know if we mentioned already, but she's a writer.
Yeah.
And okay,
did say
sorry,
that.
it's because so much has been said. But she's in a slump right now. So she's supposed to release a book at the end of the summer.
Mm-hmm.
But because of everything that went down in that funeral, her optimism is just gone. Like, she doesn't believe in love as much as she did anymore, because the only true love that she ever saw, now she doesn't know how true it was because of what she found out about her father.
Yeah.
She has no money anymore, and she doesn't want to go back to live with her mom because her and her mom are barely on speaking terms.
Mm-hmm.
So she's over here going to live in what she assumes is the mistress's house.
It is.
Right?
It's the love house basically where he had his affair
So
with Sonia.
she's walking in and she gets a phone call from her best friend Shadi. Is that her name?
Shady?
Shadi was how they said it in the
Oh, was it?
Yeah, but then I was like Shadi?
Like shoddy? Okay, I thought it was shady, but okay, shoddy.
But Shadi calls her and is just like, "Hey, how's the sex dungeon? Did you find it yet?"
Oh
It's like,
God.
no,
Not the sex dungeon.
She's like, "I've literally just walked in and I just need a minute. Like, I don't even want to look through the house." And she's like, "It's okay, queen. You do what you gotta." What we really figure out about their relationship is that they're best friends and they're really all each other has right now, because January has literally cut everyone off of her life. And also her fiance, I think they were, Jacques, broke up with her in a hot tub. So now she's just like, she's alone.
Oh yeah, that is another reason why she doesn't believe in love, because Jock wasn't there for her when she was mourning her dad.
Yep.
Well, right when his death happened, he kind of pulled away from the relationship.
So she's just here, and it sucks. It's such a shitty situation, and I don't blame her for being such a pessimist, because I would hate this shit.
Yeah.
Can
Can you imagine having to move in to where your father had an affair?
It always stressed me out too, how often she would talk about, like, and I just see my bank account going lower and lower. And I'm just like, fuck.
At one point, she only had like $6.
Dude, I'm just like, how are you doing this? I can't.
That was literally you.
I know. I've been there, January. I was so stressed out for her the entire time.
Mm-hmm.
So she goes outside and she's on the phone with Shadi talking about
The sex dungeon.
Yeah. I don't here's my thing. I love Emily Henry's writing.
Mm-hmm.
I've said this before with other books that we read from her.
Mm-hmm.
But sometimes she writes things that give me so much secondhand embarrassment. Imagine me just on the freeway blasting an audiobook.
Why are you blasting this audio?
I'm just blasting it because I can't hear it. Old ears too.
Old ears? Uh-huh.
And I don't know how she gets on the topic of foot jobs with Shadi.
Because of the sex dungeon.
That's just weird.
We've talked about foot
No, just last week.
Just last week we're talking about foot. What are you talking about?
You know what's funny though? Because if you ever brought that up to me, I'd be like, go ahead, queen, explain.
I get you though. I get you. I don't remember how it was brought up either.
Yeah.
But this is important because she's like talking to her friend, talking loudly, and then all of a sudden her neighbor, which is not even like super close, but close enough, I guess, to hear the conversation.
He was already sitting there. He was reading a book and drinking a beer.
But she didn't notice him.
No. So she was just trying to play it off. And then he brought up like, wow, foot jobs as currency. Wild.
Wild.
How times have changed. And she's just like, I'm gone. Okay, nice to meet you. And he's like, yeah, whatever. If you need sugar, let me know.
But it was in a way where it was like, don't let me know if you need sugar. So it was not the best meeting. Also, she didn't see him very well.
Did he not see her either?
I think he did.
Okay.
It's weird.
I don't think he did. I
think he did.
I think the first time they see each other is, I think a few days later. It's the first weekend that she's staying there, and he's having a full-on rager.
Oh, yeah. So he's having a party.
Yeah.
And she goes over because, again, she's in mourning. And so she's just like, fucking turn this shit off. And
but it's also like a weekend, and it's 6 p.m. You can't take the party out of me. Hire that shit out.
And so he's sitting outside.
Yeah.
And he's kind of just like, well, it's out of my control now. I'm not the one controlling this music.
Oh, dude, you didn't listen to the audiobook, right?
No.
I love this part so much because in her mind, she's like, I could tell him off so many fucking ways. I could tell him, or I could just spill too about how my dad's a fucking asshole and all this is going on. I could tell him to go screw himself and whatever. But the only thing that comes out, and I love the way the person who did the audiobook did this, was just I'm so tired. I'm just like, fuck. January, here's all my money. I would have folded so quick if I was him. I love her. He looks at her and they're both just kind of looking at each other, and then he goes like, I'll go tell him to turn it off. And he walks away.
So he did fold then.
He's trying to stand up straight, like holding the fucking balcony. I'm gonna go tell him to turn it off. Bam.
You know what? I didn't.
7.
He's like, I don't even like the song anyway, so it's fine.
It's fine. Everyone turn off everything. Get the fuck out of here. My neighbor's having a crisis. Like, makes a big deal. I love that part. That made me cry.
I don't understand how that made you cry.
Because it's so.
You were also tired.
I know. I was also really tired. No, it's just so sad because she was going through so much shit, but it just shows you that, like, no matter what you're going through, you can't, like, stop your life. You know? Because then she was also thinking about the fact that her agent, Ayana, kept messaging her.
She kept emailing her.
And she had no one to turn to. And then Shadi had, like, a really busy job.
And she was also going through stuff with this guy that she was talking to.
Yeah. It made me sad. Yeah.
But they don't really see each other either in this moment. I don't understand how they didn't lock eyes.
No, he has night vision. That man. Is that January? I know that face from miles away with my eyes closed.
And it's important because they actually already knew each other. Well, it's very confusing, honestly.
She doesn't connect it yet.
No,
right?
she doesn't. But I'm just saying, like, they already knew each other from high school, college? I don't remember.
It didn't let us connect the dots yet either. So when it was revealed that in college she had a nemesis named Gus, but then there's this neighbor that lives next to her named Everett, I was over here like, if this is a love triangle, don't make me choose God because I can't do this right now.
Because I'm going to choose myself.
I know. Just want January to be happy. So yeah,
she had a nemesis in college because he would write literary fiction and she would write romance, and he would kind of unintentionally bring her down by being like, oh, so does everyone live happily ever after at the end? And she's like, first of all, fuck you.
And it's funny because his nickname between her and Shadi was SEG, which was Sexy Evil Gus, because he was also really attractive. But he also never held a relationship. So he was very one night stand or like max be with girls for a month and then let them go.
Yeah.
When he would go into their creative writing classes, would only critique her work, but no one else's.
Just her.
How would you feel about that?
Oh, I'd be pissed. Because why is he singling her out? That's so rude.
It's rude.
But
sorry you don't like art.
Sorry you don't love love. Who broke you?
So it's the next day and she's like, fuck, I'm so embarrassed. But you know what? If I leave at the crack of dawn, maybe my neighbor will never see me. So she goes out to this place called Pete's Coffee. And I think it's funny because that's the name of a branch coffee in America.
Yeah, it is.
But it's spelled differently. So it's like, no, it's an off-brand Pete's Coffee. And so she goes to meet Pete, who makes this fucking bad coffee. Which, I mean...
She doesn't specialize in coffee. That's not her thing.
I think she even says, like, I don't drink coffee.
No, she does. And January's like, oh, that's great.
I love that. But she said...
And it was free, right? Because she didn't have money.
Yeah.
So the coffee was free.
And I thought it was funny, too, how she walks from the coffee shop to the bookstore and Pete walks over to...
She's like, how can I help you? It's like, oh, my God, no one works here.
Everywhere you go, you look across the street, the
And
crossing
Pete's
guard.
there.
Pete.
She's the only worker here.
But she does tell Pete... like,
By the way,
hey,
this beach house is in Michigan.
Yes. She tells Pete, hey, I'm a writer. I got this book. I got books. It's, nothing, just a little piece of work I call art. If you wanted me to sign a few. And she was like, well, we don't have any, but it would be so nice if like we did get some and you signed them, because then we would have 2 authors in this little town in Michigan. And she's like, 2? And she's looking around the bookstore, and there is all of Gus's book, The Revelatories, in a pyramid. And her mind, the beautiful mind equations, she's like, hold on, wait a minute. Gus Augustus
SEG?
I know. It's like it's red strings connecting in her head. Augustus Everett. And so then you see him at that time come in, and she just ducks between like a bookshelf. And Pete's like, oh, Everett, like, oh my God, you gotta meet January.
Where are
January Andrews. Where are you?
Please come to the front.
And January,
It's like the smallest bookstore. She's just like, January.
It's like she can't even hide behind the bookshelves because they're just like one shelf. So she's like planking on the floor. It's just like, fuck. So she gets up and they introduce themselves. And Everett says, like, we have actually met before. And she's like thinking in her head, like, oh shit, he remembers.
From school,
like,
but
he says
not.
Because we're neighbors.
So he's a liar.
Can we put a pin in this? I think it's really funny that this entire time January's like, he doesn't remember me. But our boy Everett, our boy Gus, he's over here like, oh my God. The way she hid behind that bookshelf, bitch. He's over here simping so hard. He knows what he's doing.
Yeah, he does.
I remember you.
Well, does he know what he's doing?
No, but I just
Not at
I
all.
fucking love him so much. I think it's just a man who simps. I think that's really cute. So
He didn't simp hard enough for me.
really?
I needed more simping. I needed times 10.
Okay, I get it. He needed to be so folded. Man looks like a paper clip. No, I get what you mean. I get what you mean.
Funny. I just to me it was so confusing. Well, I understood January because they see each other. He says we met because,
Yes.
we're neighbors. I get why she would pretend. Actually, I don't get why she would pretend. I feel like she should have been like, weren't we like dry humping in that club at fucking school?
Don't you remember?
Like they were almost gonna have sex.
No, I have a purity ring. Actually,
that was not me.
he holds it out like a girly
one night stand.
queen.
I've never done
I
that
would
before.
never. I got it. I practice abstinence ever since the Jonas Brothers told me to. So
You fucking know they did not practice abstinence. They said that shit and that ring was gone in like a year or 2.
Can you imagine all 3, like their agents, like, where's your rings? Oh, I
Gave it to the girl that I gave my virginity to.
I mean, oh, fuck. I mean, I lost it. Yeah,
and
no.
I lost my
I
virginity.
lost it at
too.
church. Where the fuck would I lose it?
I don't know. Isn't that so weird?
Yeah, it is weird.
Fucking purity ring.
I actually had, when that was happening, do you remember?
I remember that. I know where I was.
Okay, tell me about it. Where were you?
In my room.
And
what do you mean?
And how did you feel? Did you get your purity ring?
Well, I thought, wait, why don't I have one? I was a virgin too.
Hold up. No, I would have only accepted it if Joe Jonas himself
I presented it to you. Well, not anymore. After
I don't
what
remember
he did
that. Oh yeah,
He sucks now.
I don't remember that shit, but I do remember purity rings being a really big thing when I was in middle school, randomly, which is really funny.
Oh, really?
Yeah, which is really funny because that's just it's such a weird trend to happen.
Mm-hmm.
But everyone had rings and I didn't, and I was like, someone give me 25 cents so I can pull one out of the maquinitas.
The little machine.
Yeah.
Well, where I went to school, no one had one, so I think that's why. To me, I thought that was weird.
Yeah.
I was like, okay,
wait,
foreign
whoa,
concept, but okay.
hold on, where's your purity ring? Don't talk to me without your purity ring. fucking Everett just rings all over every single finger. He's like, no, I accidentally broke my purity then, so I got a second purity ring.
But he's not though,
I
because
know.
he was like,
they're like coming off the finger.
he was a hoe. He would
And
sleep
what
around.
of it?
He would sleep around. No, it doesn't matter. I'm just telling you that he was.
I think it's so funny because he's over here.
What is that? Community dick? That was him.
Oh my God. It's funny because he's over here sleeping around, but afterwards he's like, okay, but what is January doing right now?
Yeah, so we later do find out that while they were in college, he would pick on her because that was his way of flirting.
How do you feel
Weren't
about
they
that?
in college?
Yeah, I hate that
That's
shit.
gross.
I hate that shit.
You were eating it up.
I know. Dude, I was so fucking. No, but I also hate that shit because, like, that's so juvenile to do that.
He was like, I didn't know how to talk to you.
Did I tell you about that time? He's not going to watch this. Did I tell you about that time in college where this guy got my number because we were in, it was like a
Mutual
history.
friend?
No, we were in a history class together.
Oh, okay.
So he had gotten my number because we were all in a table group and we were like, we should exchange numbers just in case, you know, we need each other's numbers.
Mm-hmm.
And he was like, oh, yeah. Yeah. And he turned to me. So, like, what's your number? And and you know, we exchanged numbers, whatever.
Mm.
And we would text every now and then. And then his way of showing me that he
Was interested?
was getting really drunk and trying to get me to come over. And I was like, I'm chill. You know what? It's Saturday. I hang out with my roommates. And then he proceeded to call me every single bad word, slur, everything you can imagine.
What?
I'm just a woman trying to live with my purity rings.
Fuck.
So
She didn't have any purity rings.
I know, but I'm over here like, okay, slay.
Wait, he was... Okay, hold on. Back up. So he was inviting you over.
Yes.
And then you would say no.
No, it was once. It was one time. He didn't do it often. We would just like text often, but he had invited me over once and I was just kind of like, no.
And then he went off on you that
and then
same
he went
night?
off on me for like fucking 20 minutes. This bitch had every single bad word in the dictionary. He had the encyclopedia open.
Through text?
Yeah. Yeah.
What did you do?
And so I just kind of let him speak. I just kind of let him go off.
You should have blocked
It
him.
was actually, no, because it was funny. So I was
okay. It was
so
like that.
I was like, just watch. It was actually through Snapchat now that I remember.
Okay.
And my roommates and I, we were in the living room studying.
Laughing.
And
Giggling.
And they were like, oh my God, did he text? And we would read it. And then the next day when I went to class, I was walking up the stairs to get to class and he was walking down for some reason. And we made eye contact and I just kind of looked at him like, you got anything? You got, you know.
You have anything else in your fucking dictionary?
And he was just like, man, I don't remember any of that.
Ooh, what the
fuck is wrong with you? Everett would never.
What the fuck is wrong with him?
Thank you. College memory.
What the fuck? That's never happened to me.
Yeah. I don't recommend it. Actually, it was kind of crazy.
He was so unhinged. Wait, so what? How was he when you were in class?
He tried apologizing to me on that stairwell. And I just remember telling you, because I was fucking over it. And I was like, don't fucking talk to me. So if you're going to sit, don't sit on my left, don't sit on my right, and don't sit in front of me. I don't want to look at you. And I went to class and he didn't sit at the table.
He sat at a different table?
I think he sat behind me. I didn't see him. So yeah.
I fucking love that.
So
he got the message. I love that.
He got the message. Yeah, I think about that sometimes.
Okay, well,
Everett wouldn't. That's where I was going.
Gus. What do you call Everett? Gus.
Because he goes by Everett.
He goes by Gus.
He goes by Everett by people who didn't know him in college, but because I knew him in my heart in college.
You call him Everett.
I call him Gus.
You've been calling him Everett.
I don't remember that. Gaslight you?
Gus wasn't like that, thank God. But
Yeah.
I don't understand that whole thing because I was so confused. I was like, wait, how do they know each other if they had met twice already?
How did you feel with that reveal that they had? Did they sleep together?
No, they were going to. Remember, Shadi stopped it from happening. I forgot why, but I think because they were both drunk, right? They were
Probably.
they had both drank, and so she stopped it from happening. But there was just so much passion and so much intensity because they were like dancing all over each other.
Fucking
that is
Gus
so funny.
in it, like, don't freak out. It's finally happening. Everything I've ever dreamed of. Good for him.
I don't.
Were you not a fan of Gus?
I feel like you always thirst over the guys. I'm kind of just like, no, it's not that. I was gonna say that I wish, because he made it seem like he always liked her, right? But then he never reached out to her.
I just feel like
that was like the last time.
I just feel like he was so self-sabotaging in every single sense that he never really thought he deserved anything, which is kind of weird because it's later described that he would do shit just in order, like, just to talk to her. So you're right. I would have thought that he'd maybe like, oh, we somehow are in the same group chat. Weird. Oh, you took yourself out. Oh, I put you back in. Oh my God.
Oh my God. Wait, you like this coffee shop? Suddenly I really like this coffee shop too.
But it's because like her life moved on with the people she was in relationships with. And meanwhile, his, you know, he couldn't just stay continuing to have a big crush on her.
Sadly.
And he saw her again. And then she was like, I'm so tired. And he
was
did
like,
everything to make sure that girl got enough sleep every single day. That's so beautiful.
So then what happened in the story?
So
then she gets invited to the book club.
They both get invited to the book club. And
because we're back to the bookstore. Damn, we derailed.
I know. So Pete is like, you need to go to this book club we have. And you know it's gonna go hard.
It's the best fucking book club you've ever seen.
I didn't
There's
realize
wine and shit.
I didn't realize how depressed January was
me neither.
She shows up with like alcohol in her purse. That's crazy. That's like, I need to talk to you to see how you're doing.
And I find it interesting because she's not aware that she's so depressed. And it's not, even I was kind of like, okay, that's a little weird. That's a little weird. But you know, maybe she just doesn't want to drink their alcohol, you know?
Yeah.
Maybe. But it isn't until Gus brings it up to her, like, January, I knew you were messed up when you were over here drinking wine out of your purse. And I was like, wait, Gus, you're right. That is a little weird.
I really like that moment they have when they're eating donuts too. Because they go to the book club and it's a book club that's dedicated to like spy stories.
Yeah.
That's hilarious.
That is
and
so
I love
funny.
it for them. Sonia's in the book club, which is
the
mistress. But she leaves as soon as she sees
January. Because when January walks in, she's having like a panic attack and she walks into the bathroom immediately and then Sonia just leaves. So she's, you know, aware that she's unwanted.
But when her and Gus end up leaving, he takes her because she can't drive at her in her state to a donut shop that is equally as bad as everything in that place. And they're eating donuts and they reveal secrets to each other, don't they?
Yeah.
And
I don't remember what they were.
Her secret had to do with her dad. No, I don't think she reveals it here.
I think it's too soon. I don't remember what they talk about.
But I do know that he reveals, like, I've known you longer than what I said.
Oh,
know?
yeah.
And she kind of goes like, what?
No way.
Me? And it's like, yeah, you think I would forget you?
She's like, you don't seem familiar at all, actually. That's crazy.
I know. I don't. Oh, you don't know me? Oh, it's fine. No, it's fine. No, he says like, how could I forget you? You know, we were in classes together and
I would make fun of your work.
I know, I would tease you. I would, yeah. All my purity rings, I lost that year.
I wanted to give you one, but your friend stopped it from happening.
Darn, you know that. And the way he said it, and that night we shared. And she's like,
what? What night?
What are you talking about? No, nothing happened. Oh, no, yeah. Fucking cracks a purity ring in his hand. talks about that, and now they both knew that they knew each other. I think she reveals that they were nemesis or rivals.
Mm-hmm.
And so
she reveals that she's read his books. No, he's read her books.
all of them.
Mm-hmm.
And she hasn't read his.
Yeah, she hasn't read his.
But then she kind of finds offense to it. So it's like, so what, you're reading mine to see how bad it is? Because you don't respect women's fiction?
She's very guarded. Like, immediately assumes how he feels about her.
And he hella calls it out. He's like, I literally just said one word and you're attacking me.
Yeah.
Like, what the fuck?
He's like, this is not the January. But, like, in the bedroom. Let's go, girl.
I know. Was that too soon? I don't know. He talks about how she probably can't write what he does. And she brings up, well, you probably can't write what I do. Like, you can't write romance.
Mm-hmm.
So she comes up with a bet. You need to write, your next book needs to be a romance, and my next book will be a very research-heavy fiction.
A literary fiction book.
Yes. Mm-hmm. And let's see who fucking wins.
And I don't even know how they measure that, but...
Well, I think it's if it does well, but the loser has to promote the other person's books. Mm-hmm. So he's like, okay... Slay. Wait, hold on.
Money though.
January, if I could call you that, please. Does that mean we get to hang out? Oh.
Well, because obviously he doesn't know anything about romance. So she decides, I think it's on Sundays, that she'll take him out on dates.
Saturdays.
Oh, yeah. Saturdays. So she'll take him out on dates so that he can be involved in romantic scenes.
And then Fridays he will take her out in order to show the research process when writing a literary fiction. Mm-hmm. And that's our story.
The end.
Thanks. What are your thoughts so far?
Well,
I was eating this shit up.
I really felt for January. I was immediately like into January's life because I was like, damn, I can't imagine what I would feel if I was in her situation. Mm-hmm. But the only thing that threw me off was just the whole them pretending like they didn't recognize each other. I don't know. That was the first time that I was like, whoa. Yeah. This is confusing to me. But overall, I was into it. I did want to see where this was going. But the stakes weren't really that high on their whole bet thing. But I think that was fine. I mean, it's just for funsies, really.
To me, it felt a little cringy that they were doing this bet. It just feels a little weird.
Really?
Yeah.
You didn't like it?
No, because like you said, January was in such a shitty situation and I really felt for her in that. But for her to be like, yeah, my dad just died and figured out he has a mistress and I'm living in her house, but yeah, I'll go on dates with you. Mm-hmm. No, yeah, it's fine. I feel like, no, you need to go through, be able to talk to someone.
I feel like she was just avoiding.
Oh, she definitely was. Everything.
Processing what was happening. And also her mom wasn't talking to her about the situation. And it kind of just sucks because there's also that added layer of her not being able to get a response from her dad because he's gone now.
Do you remember that scene where it was the day they were going to go out, Saturday, and he saw her, January, walk to the beach and followed, and she was like sobbing.
She had a breakdown, yeah.
And when they saw each other, he just hugged her.
And then a bird had fucking shat on her head. She was like, the seagull just shit on my head.
And it was funny because it was such a beautiful moment. And he was like, wow, it really just went for it, didn't it? God damn.
Yeah, because he hugged her and then his hand kind of just went up there.
Oh, God. I really liked that January stayed very guarded throughout the story. Mm-hmm. Like it wasn't just undone immediately. Mm-hmm. But I kind of wish, I don't know how to say this because I listened to the audiobook, so I don't know if I missed anything. I kind of wish there was more like dissecting in his part, like in his character, because it's very much her trying to figure out like, this is how I'm feeling and this is how I'm going to process my emotions. And I feel like with him, there was like a lot going on with his dad.
Yeah.
But it felt like they didn't really talk about it.
I felt like we didn't really work through his problems. Because I remember he was also having issues with his mom, right? It wasn't, I mean, the dad was like the main part.
But the mom didn't leave the dad.
Yeah. And so, I don't know. Nothing really came out of that.
I also wish we had learned more about his marriage before he ended up with well, before talking to January, he had been married for 2 years and then divorced because the wife called it off.
Yeah.
Her name was Naomi.
She just wanted something different, right? It wasn't really anything.
She cheated on him with his best friend. With his college roommate.
Oh, yeah, because she knew the college roommate. Oh, my God.
I wish there was more from that, too. Like, I wish it pieced together, like, wow. Because he did say it once with the whole, when people look at me, when girls look at me, they think of me as a one and done. They don't see someone you can be in a relationship with.
Well, that's the reputation you build, baby. That's what you wanted.
I just thought, January, you would like me if I just kept sleeping around.
I can't feel sympathy for a man.
I don't blame you, babe.
I can't feel sympathy because, if it had been a girl, it'd be a different story. But yeah, I kind of wish we would have gotten more information about his relationship with Naomi. He really did love her, right?
Yeah, he did. But we never heard about it.
Yeah.
And that was another thing because January was kind of in the story, kind of forced to go through her feelings in front of others or at least like feel it to an intensity because it all built up. But when it came to him, he would just disappear. So I wish there was a moment where she was like, you're here and you're telling me about why your fucking wife came over to this event. Like, I wish there was that, but there never was.
I thought that was so funny, though, because he was like working it out off of the page.
Yeah, he was. He's
and also the story that they were writing, we got more of an insight on her book. And I don't remember anything
I totally
about his book.
I wish we could have read it. I wanted to read it.
You know what? Even though this is cliched, I thought he was going to write about like a fucking beach house. Like I thought like, no, not necessarily like one of those where this is the book that he wrote. I thought it was going to be just like, you inspired me to write a story of college roommates or something. I don't know.
It's funny. He writes about his roommate, but like he's fucking horrible in it. Like, that stupid bitch. Oh, damn. Everett, Gus. Sorry
about that.
I thought that there was going to be a moment where she would have to like break into his house for like whatever, like an emergency, like he needs something, I need to come in here. And she would just see, his book on his manuscript. It's like, might as well. It's there for grabs.
Oh my God.
And I wanted her to read just his idea of romance is like the way he thinks about her.
That would have been so fucking cute. That's what I
Emily,
wanted.
write that down.
That would have been so cute.
I wanted that shit. Never got it. All I got was Gus. I'm not complaining.
Because Gus was great.
More. Yeah, there could have been more. Thank you.
But, so basically his research dates, quote unquote, are very heavy. Oh my God. I thought that research was going to play a bigger role on what January was going to write. But it kind of felt like, oh, I'm going to save this for my next book. That's what Gus would say.
Yeah.
And so I was kind of thinking like, damn, I can see the importance of being able to see a glimpse of what his genre does. Yeah. But also like, it was a little hard to read because it was about a cult.
Yeah.
A cult that happened around the area.
I want to ask you something. Pin on
How
that. Did you feel about the book that January was writing? If you were her agent and you got that.
I don't remember it. Oh, it was a circus, huh? I don't think I would have liked it that much. I don't think I would read that, to be honest. I don't remember it exactly, but I think it's about a family in a circus and they have to separate, right?
It was like a family full of secrets. So Eleanor, which was the daughter, falls in love with a rich boy and they don't end up together. That's basically what it is. The mom lives with constant fear that something bad's going to happen, so constantly has a gun with her. The dad has a secret affair and a secret family. The circus brothers are actually lovers and they don't want to reveal that. And then there was like someone named Nick that also worked there. And I was like, I don't get why you did a circus. Out of all the things you could have done, like, you're not even researching this.
This isn't even relevant to the research. I honestly thought it was going to pertain to what they were doing, but it didn't. So I don't know.
Because it didn't have to be a cult, but she could have just done something like, I can't leave this home.
Mm-hmm.
You know? But yeah, it just didn't feel like a good book.
But it felt like it was supposed to be like a masterpiece, huh?
Yeah.
I
Oh
did
my
not get
gosh.
that vibe at
No.
all.
I didn't either. Sorry, Emily. Sorry, January. Since you know Emily didn't write it. January did.
She's the actual author.
So how did you feel the first time Emily... Whoa, you're not in the book. The first time January and Gus kiss, which is when they're at the drive-in.
I really liked this scene, but I'm trying to remember the beats of it.
They are watching it in her Kia Soul.
Oh yes, the Kia Soul.
And they're getting out because they're super close to each other and they're looking at each other's lips and she feels like it's about to happen and she's like, nope. So she gets out of the car, but while they're outside, he pushes her towards the car and basically like dry humps her, I think.
Hell yeah. He's like, remember what happened in college? Let's pick it up where we left off.
He's fucking shaking. Finally.
He's like, how many years had passed? They had gone like what, 6 years, 5 years without seeing each other. That's crazy.
That man's purity ring was part
Stayed
of his
on.
skin. Yeah. No, babe. I did have sex. You don't. No, it's pure. It means I purely love you.
It means you're the one.
Oh my gosh,
Wow.
the shackles break and it like becomes dust. Fucking finally, bitch. Oh, I wouldn't call you that. But they're doing this and then all of a sudden a security guard like points a light at them and is like, are you a little too old to be doing this at a family friendly event?
Uh-huh.
And then Gus is like, no, you don't get it. We're scouting it out for our kids. But my wife just be too hot.
Yeah, he did mention kids. I thought that was so fucking funny. But the was it an officer? Whoever,
like a lady with
it
a
was a
flashlight.
lady, right? So the lady with the flashlight was like super like offended and clutching her pearls and shit. She was, I can't believe you're doing this in a family establishment. I was like, I'm
Yep.
sorry. I kind of want to have another child. Sue me.
But when they leave, they don't talk about it again.
No, they don't.
And she's over here overthinking it. And it's just like, fuck. Why did I do that? We had such a good friendship. The only friend I have in this entire fucking town, not counting Pete from the bookstore, Pete from the coffee shop, Pete from the book club.
That was a really big thing for her because she doesn't have any friends.
No.
So she really wanted to maintain the friendship.
Yeah.
But we knew. Come on, girl. Not after dry humping on your Kia Soul.
And I don't remember the beats after. I just know that they're supposed to go to between that time, they kiss a lot, but they don't mention it.
Mm-hmm.
Like, they just kind of kiss and hold hands a lot.
Mm-hmm.
As you do with a friend.
They're just friends, though.
I know.
It's just, I mean, I get it.
I think it's so funny, though, because I could just imagine him like, yes. See, a little sticky note, like, got to kiss her today. Now I get to hold her hand. And it isn't until they're about to go to a party, I think, right?
It's like an event for him. Or an
Yes.
event he's a part of.
Mm-hmm.
I forgot in what way, though.
It was Pete's event, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes, it was Pizza event. But he was somehow a part of it. I don't remember. But then we see the wife. Because they're still married.
Was she there? No, I'm thinking of something else. Hold on. Pin.
No, I don't think she saw her.
Because before that even happens, there is this family event that's going to happen near a pool. And her and Gus have sex for the first time. And when they have sex,
Oh, yes. I do remember
he's
that.
whispering sweet nothings into
He's
her
like,
ear.
I've been holding this condom for 6 years, babe.
I know. Like, I drew a purity ring on it. I don't know if that's going to affect it. Well, we'll just see. We'll see how it goes. And he is whispering, like, I have liked you I've been wanting to do this for so long. And she was like, oh, yeah, the drive-in was crazy. And it's like, no, longer
than that. Think further back.
Keep going, babe. And so they have really good sex. And afterwards, he's like kissing her very intimately, just like kissing her stomach, kissing her shoulder, gets a call, and he immediately shuts her out, like goes into his room, closes the door. Oh, you know your way out, right? And can you pick up your dirty ass clothes? It's just really mean. And actually, I have Lysol. If you could just spray the whole room.
My
And
next
wash my
girl is
sheets.
coming in.
No, my next is scheduled at 12, so I'll just see you later. I don't know.
Remember
Here's
me?
my business card.
Remember me? One and done. Yeah, he's back.
Another purity ring, gone. And so she's just.
He
like,
doesn't actually kick her out though, but he does go to the bathroom and talks in
to his bedroom.
Oh yeah, and then talks in a way where she's like, "Oh, he doesn't want me to hear this conversation."
So then when they go to that party, that family party, he's just avoiding her. Like he's not looking at her.
Mm-hmm.
He's keeps going into rooms and just like leaving her by herself, and she's just getting tired of it. So they go through the rest of this night. They go home. They don't even talk in the car.
Mm-hmm.
And she doesn't see him for days. Like he leaves.
Mm-hmm.
And she doesn't want to text him because she thinks that's too desperate.
Mm-hmm.
So then the day that they're supposed to meet up on Friday for the research, he texts her like, we're leaving at 1 if you still want to go.
Yeah.
Like if you still want to go. It's like, but do you want me to go? No, well, if you want to go.
Yeah.
And he keeps wording it like that. So she says like, yeah, I'm going.
Mm-hmm.
So they go to where...
Would you go?
With him? Yes. To the cult? Hell no. Like, I would go.
No, I don't think about him. I mean, like in this, if you were in this situation, guy semi cut you off, it's being weird, but you had a scheduled event, would you still go?
Yes. I would go. I would go because I feel like I would need to talk it out, and I don't want to do it through text. So,
but it was like a whole thing.
Yeah, it was a whole day and it was raining.
I think I would be scared.
But you know what? I feel like I would have fucking cried too.
What?
With the whole, I'm over here trying to get you to talk, and the whole time we're walking, do you want to walk back to the tent? Do you want to just leave? You don't have to be here. You can just, and I'm like, bitch, me?
Mm-hmm.
And she does end up going back to the tent. And when she's back in there, she takes a nap and she wakes up when he comes in and he's like, okay, we can go. Let's you know, I just brought the tent because like it was gonna be a long day. We're not actually staying, and it's kind of implying like he doesn't want to stay.
Mm-hmm.
And she just kind of breaks down. And it's just like, what the fuck did I do to you?
Mm-hmm.
Like you could tell me what's wrong. You could tell me what's bothering you. And he brings up, or she says, "Is it me? Like, did I do something to you that makes you not want to be with me?" And he's like, "No, January. can't have a marriage story like." Punch a hole in the wall. Hope he doesn't. But he punches the tent. Like the whole thing breaks. But he
just collapsed all over them.
January, fuck, it's never you. I've loved you since day one, bitch. No, he didn't say that. But he's like, it would never be you. Like, there's so much shit going on in my life. And so much shit I'm dealing with that's outside of you and has been happening to me before you. But it's not you. But I don't see why you would want to be with someone like me if you're going to eventually leave, you know? Mm-hmm. And he talks about how the reason I didn't want you to come is not because I didn't think you can handle it. It's because I never wanted you to be someone who views the world like this. And that shit made me so... That's such a beautiful kind of thing to say, because it's like you meet people in your life that are so positive where you're kind of like, I never really want you to lose that in you. Mm-hmm. And that's kind of what he was saying to her. And so
he thought he was going to be a bad influence on her.
Yeah.
Because he's a pessimist and she's an optimist. Even though she hasn't really been that optimistic during this time.
Yeah. But they both kind of agree on like, I know not every day is going to be perfect, but how does like happy for now sound? Because are you happy? And she's like, I am actually. Are you? And he's like, yeah, this is the happiest I've ever been. This is my January notebook. I write everything you and I do together. But he and they both make up, and I think they stay the night in the tent.
Yeah,
they have
do.
Sex like fucking 12 times.
Yeah, all the corners of the tent.
Are like, what the fuck? There's no. They don't exist anymore. The cult's gone.
Cult's gone. Yeah. Well,
the spirits of the cult.
Turns into a fucking ghost story.
I know, they're like, oh my god, but they
make up. Mm-hmm.
And it's so cute when they're going back home because he holds her hand the whole time.
That is so fucking
and now that they're together, he's like, babe, can you write this in my January notebook? that we held hands and are still ongoing with the holding hands.
Yeah
babe, we didn't mention, but she now knows that he has an ex-wife. And I think they had a conversation in which he said that he was never planning on ever ending the relationship if it weren't for the fact that she cheated, and she was the one who ended it. So at the end of the book, they're having this book signing where people are supposed to come. Pete's going to ask questions and they're supposed to answer. But at this event, Naomi, which is his ex-wife, comes. And the way January describes her eyes is like she has a new hunger in them. And she's looking straight at Gus.
Oh, she does see her because she thinks that she's very beautiful, right?
And at the very end of the event, she looks at Gus. No, she doesn't even look at Gus. Gus looks at her and is like, I need to go talk to her. And she doesn't answer.
Yeah.
So Gus walks away. And I wish he would have just like went to eye level and been like, January.
You and me.
Naomi never had a notebook. It's yours. So I just wish there would have been that, but you know, whatever.
There had to be a little bit of angst.
She goes home,
a lot of angst.
And she reads the letter her dad had written her because Sonia
was at this event, and Sonia was
Sonia was at her house.
Oh, she showed up, huh?
And Sonia was like, your dad loved you a lot. That's why he left you so many letters. And she was like, he left me one. I was like, you didn't find the rest of them?
She's like, wait, you didn't read the letter? Because in the letter, it mentioned the other letters.
So in her house, there is a safe that the code is her birthday. And when she opens this safe, it's letters that he wrote for every single one of her birthdays, slowly revealing that, like, the things that he had done. But in every single letter, he always brings up, like, no matter what man I am, I'm still your father. You know, any circumstance, I will always still be your father. And it just kind of puts it into perspective because she's over here like, Sonia was with a married man, but if you think about it, I kind of am too. Like, there's so many circumstances that we're not understanding. So she doesn't really, and she even thinks in her head, like, I don't even hate Sonia.
Yeah.
Like, I just hate what happened, like the circumstances of everything.
And I think in the letters, he also revealed that he was planning on leaving the mom, but then she got sick.
Yes.
So he decided to stay. But cheat. So,
he wasn't a perfect person. I feel like if I were January, I would have viewed that differently. I don't think I would have been as forgiving. I don't know.
How would you feel?
I think I would feel angry. But it's so weird because it's hard, at least in my eyes, to like cut off family. That feels like really difficult.
Yeah.
Mostly because my whole family is very family oriented. So I feel like even if I tried to cut someone off,
they're
everywhere.
They're gonna be there.
Yeah, every carne asada, they're there.
Yeah.
So
But he's gone though. So what do you mean?
No.
He's literally dead. Hold on.
Every Dia de los Muertos, you know.
You can't escape that.
Yeah, that fucking
he's gonna
huge
be
altar for him. I was like, no, but
his fucking picture's gonna be on the top.
But I can't imagine doing that. But I feel like she took it very like, okay, I understand him, and there is more good in him than bad, and I understand that sentiment. But she was just very quick to.
I feel like I loved the idea of the letters. I thought it was really cute for him to have written a letter to her every birthday. But I really wanted there to have been more revealed in the letters. All we really got was just what we already knew, kind of. I mean, I obviously already knew he loved her. I mean, he literally named her January because that was like one of like his favorites. It wasn't like in a song that he loved, and it was his favorite month. Yeah. And she was born in January, so.
But she's over here learning everything about her dad. And then she's also like, fuck, I don't know if Gus and I are together anymore. So she calls Shadi and she's just like, I need you. And Shadi's like, open your door. I'm already there. And
I'm on my fucking way.
They're just talking. And Shadi was like, being in love kind of like suits you though. Like it suits your personality. You know, I know that you and Jacques had like that weird thing, but he also broke up with you in a hot tub and that's fucking weird. So maybe just give it a chance.
And then also, I think she reveals it to Gus, but I like that the revelation of her admitting that she didn't actually love Jacques. It was just the idea of him because the way that they met and the way that he fit into her family and the way that his family loved her was just like so picture perfect that it was hard for her to let that go.
Yes.
Like immediately she was like, well, we have to get married then.
And Gus is just like, yeah, yes, okay, yeah, no, that's fine.
She tells that to Gus, right?
Yeah, she did. So at the very end, Gus is knocking on January's door and is like, babe, open the door. And she's not saying anything, but he's just like, January, please, I need to talk to you. January, please open the door. And January has a moment, like he stops knocking and January's like, I'm not gonna let him get away. And so she runs outside, but realizes his car's not there. His lights are off and it's too late. But I don't think he left the porch. Like, I think he was like still.
Yeah, I think he was still there
on the little like side table. Like, oh, January.
Hey, girl.
No, but they both see each other and they have the same talk about the happy for now. And oh my God, he fucking sucks at wording shit. He really makes things seem worse than they are.
Yeah, he does.
Like, Naomi, she told me that my bestie and her, they're not together anymore.
She told me that she saw me and was like, damn, I want him back.
Yeah.
So she wants me back.
And then she said, if I can ever imagine a marriage again. And I said, yeah. You know what? I can, babe. I called her babe, actually. And
sorry, babe. I called her babe.
yeah, sorry. And so I showed her the Naomi notebook.
And it was like paper. It was like just one. Just a napkin.
A one-ply napkin. And so
it's like a toilet brand where it's just like the thinnest
fucking you hold it up to the light and it disintegrates. Oh, I mean, I showed it to her.
No, like you, babe. I chose Charmin for you. Oh my God. But you're right. He does word it really poorly.
He words it poorly because the whole time she's like, oh, okay,
she's
so
just already
fucking chose.
She's accepting that he's gonna choose his marriage.
No, January.
Babe. Weren't you listening, January?
No, babe takes out her notebook. The reason I said I can imagine marriage is that because I can, but I can imagine it with you.
Oh my gosh! Shut the fuck up, Gus.
Fucking turns on Bruno Mars.
Marry you?
Can you? Thank you. So that's just playing in the background. Do you want to have this dance? And they dance on the porch, the patio. Fucking Shadi in the background, like yeah. And they live happily for now.
After
the end.
Oh my God, yes. I wish we would have seen more on his book.
I don't
even know what it's about.
I wanted it to be about her.
It probably
and for
is.
it to be released and for her to be like, you know what? It kind of slides.
Wait, so who won?
Her, technically.
Because we know about it?
She released it. Did he release it?
I don't know. Maybe in the sequel or not.
It's the fucking big ass notebook. Wait, why did he release it?
Doesn't make any sense.
I know. And the sequel, the 1.5, is a Naomi napkin. Dude, I fucking
it's
love
like
that
more
shit.
Beautiful. Can you imagine? Because it's more concise.
It sells millions. It's a #1 bestseller. And at the very end, it's the anniversary of the divorce, I think. Right? I think it's that day. And so January is coming over. And as soon as they open the door to his place, their place now, everyone she knows and loves is there. So her mom and Shadi.
It's true.
And Pete. And they hear a big...
And Pete's wife.
Thank you. And they hear a big surprise. And then Gus goes down on one knee. It's like, I have been waiting. Takes out Bible length. There's a huge napkin that he has to unfold millions of times. January, January. Where do I begin? And then she says yes. And then they live happily ever after.
The end. I think this is Emily Henry's first book.
Is it? No, it's not. Didn't it come out this year?
No. 2020.
Oh my God. Wait, what came out this year?
JK. I think this is the first book that blew up.
Okay. The first book with those type of covers.
Yes. Oh my God. Oh, she's been at this for a minute. But not that
Beach Read was this year. Really?
Beach read? I've heard of beach reads since we started the podcast.
And you didn't tell me?
Well,
We could have read this ages ago. I could have known about Gus ages ago.
I'm so sorry, Queen.
Here's the thing.
Hmm.
Can you let me know? Maybe I just missed it. When did the beach come in?
Weren't they at the beach?
So that's why we called it beach read?
Yeah, they're at the beach. They live rent. Well, it's technically a lake house.
I think they only read at the beach once.
Well, they're at a lake house,
Mm.
but I think, don't they normally call it, because they don't have a beach, so don't they just call it the beach?
Yeah.
Because I remember when I was in Arizona, they were like, it called it the beach. I was like, this is not a beach.
That's a water fountain.
That's a tiny little lake. If I've ever seen one. No, I'm just kidding. It was actually pretty big.
Yeah.
I think they just call it a beach, but
I didn't really like the title.
I didn't
I
really
also didn't like the cover of the book.
me neither, because
Yeah.
it doesn't
really show
pertain to.
Mm-hmm.
They were not wearing
It should have shown the tent. You know, the
tent house.
The tent house. Thank you. That's really nice. No, I don't know. I
think the cover and the title gave it a different vibe than what it actually was.
Can you let me know what Emily Henry books have you read?
We've read the same ones except one.
Which ones have we read? We read this one.
People we meet on vacation.
And I read Book Lovers.
So those are the one book that I read that you didn't read. And Book Lovers was the one that you read and I didn't read.
Yeah.
Funny
story. Is that it?
Oh, there's one more.
No, I think that's it. Hold on.
What was the first?
Oh, didn't she write a short story? The meet cute one?
No,
Okay.
that was Abby. That was Abby
Oh, okay.
Jimenez.
No, you're right. Abby Jimenez and Christina Lauren.
Oh, Funny Story.
But we didn't read. No, Funny Story was the one we read.
Mm-hmm.
So it was really only Funny Story in this one.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
So we've technically read 3 books each of hers.
I'm going to say something.
Okay.
And I mean it with all the love in my heart, Emily Henry, because I think she's funny.
I don't think she's watching this, but if she is, hey,
She is.
girl.
I know she is. I thought The Spice was okay. I think she writes all of her men the same.
Whoa. Oh my God. my third eye is open.
Doesn't it
Whoa.
seem grumpy, but still funny like a sunshine? Broody, but not really that deep.
Oh my God. This was my least favorite male.
Me
though.
too. Me too.
You
but
were
then,
literally thirsting over him the entire time.
But you should see me with the guy from Book Lovers. I'm feral for that man.
You have not brought him up once.
Because you haven't read it. I don't want to say anything. But I just feel like all of her men are the same.
Oh. It's kind of sad. But yeah, I see that. Isn't that crazy?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, because I see the similarities between this one and the one in Funny Story.
And I don't know if you read the acknowledgments afterwards.
No.
But she basically said that she wrote this book because she herself was in a writer's block. And she was like, and this is kind of like what came out of it. And I'm just kind of like, Emily, I don't know if I like that.
Really?
This is really what came out. Circus people.
Mm.
And also, like, for someone in a writer's block that took their time with this story, you really didn't take time fleshing out all the characters. Just one. You really went off on January and gave her a hard time.
Yeah, I did really like January.
Yeah. I wanted to know more about Naomi.
Why?
I just wanted to know what happened. And it didn't even have to be me seeing him come to terms like, okay, this and that. I wish he would have just explained it more to her.
Do you think that this book would have been better in dual perspective?
I don't know. I don't know if I would have wanted that.
Too
But
much, Gus.
I think
You
I
would have
would've
loved him
liked
less.
it if every time, because didn't it feel like every time he opened up to her, it was in like a fit? Like it was always like, oh, you brought me up to here and now I have to kind of explode on
And now
you.
my heart has to be on my sleeve.
Yeah. It's like, why does it always have to get to that point with him?
Yeah.
I don't know.
I definitely did not like when he was would shut down on her because
That's not hot.
It would, yeah,
not
it's
cute.
not hot. No. It would give me the impression of, oh, he wants someone else or something else or the wife or whatever.
Yeah. And everyone else was just kind of okay with it because even Pete was like, no, yeah, he gets like this.
Yeah.
Really? You didn't do anything to help that man? He needs therapy.
Yeah.
Like,
you guys just kind of accept his tantrums.
and you throw a party, which you know he doesn't like, on the day of his divorce. That's weird.
Oh, yeah. So they always throw a party. So that day in the beginning when he had a rager and she went over to tell him to turn it down, that was the anniversary of the divorce, but they didn't actually get divorced or the breakup, whatever.
Yeah.
So, yeah, that is kind of interesting, huh?
Yeah. So as much as I loved Gus, I just feel like
you've seen him before.
And I've seen this type of story. And I don't know if you remember, but for funny story, I gave it a 5 out of 5. But I feel like if I gave this a 5 out of 5, I'm just giving 5 to fucking everything.
Yeah.
So like, I don't know.
Well, I definitely didn't eat this shit up like I did funny story, but
Same. I think overall, I did like the dialogue. And I really liked Gus and January's like tension between them. I wish I could have seen more of Gus's breakdown of his emotional like side. Yeah. But we didn't really get to see that as much as I would have liked. I wish we could have known more about his wife, but you know, whatever. I think I would give this a 3.5 out of 5 because I still really liked it.
yeah, I feel kind of torn because I did really enjoy, like I said, January's character. I feel like she really fleshed out January a lot.
She did.
And I think Emily Henry's, one of her strongest suits is that she always writes stories where it's not just a romance. Like she's really fleshing out
The world.
the I guess the background of her characters. Obviously in this one it was mostly focused just on January, but for Gus, I mean, there was like a little bit here and there that we could see of him, but I wish there were more of him, of why he is the way that he is.
Yeah.
And also, why didn't he just like not wait for her, but look for her, search for her if he really cared about her? I mean, I guess I understand because she was with Jock.
Yeah.
But I mean,
I wish there was something.
yeah, I like at least try to reach out and her being like, dude, I'm almost married.
Yeah.
Move on, you know?
It could have been cute if he actually like wrote reviews for her books.
Oh, that would have been so cute.
It's like every month. After a month sitting with this, after 2 months sitting with this, it's like another review.
Mm-hmm.
You know, after my 12th reread, I would say it doesn't really hit.
It doesn't really hit, but it still hits. 5 out of 5. I think I would probably give it around the same of a rating, or I don't know, because it feels weird. I wouldn't give it a 5 or a 3. I feel like a 3 is way too low.
Yeah.
So I'm kind of like in between like that, maybe even a 4. I think I would give it a 4.
Okay.
Because I did really enjoy the book, but I just wanted a little bit more, just a little bit.
That being said, if you are listening to us in audio form, whether that be Amazon, you can't listen to us on Amazon, Spotify, Apple Podcasts, Amazon Music, yeah, you can, or anywhere you get podcasts on. It's funny because you know how you say things so often, you don't really know what you're saying.
It just comes out of you.
Me. If you're listening to us in audio form, thank you so much. If you can please leave us a rating of 5 stars, it literally takes 2 seconds. You can do that right now. And if you want to give us a recommendation, you can also recommend us our next read. We are taking spooky reads now.
Yeah.
Spooky recommendations.
It's spooky season.
We've
So.
actually, I don't know if we brought this up. This is the last soft, warm book we're going to read for a while, and it makes me sad.
Unless we do a bonus.
Please give us bonuses. But thank you so much. If you want to support us and you have a little bit of money, what can they do?
So we do have a Patreon. And our Patreon just really serves as a way for our listeners to let us know that you really enjoy our content. Mm-hmm. You can find us on patreon.com/bookfix. But if you don't want the commitment of monthly, you can find us on Ko-fi, which is ko-fi.com/thebookfix, or buymeacoffee.com/thebookfix.
If you are watching us on YouTube, thank you so much. If you can like, comment, subscribe, and hit that notification bell because we post every Tuesday and Thursday. If you want to support us on social media, we do have an Instagram, Threads, and a Goodreads at the Book Fix Pod, THEBOOKFIXPOD, and a TikTok at the Book Fix, THEBOOKFIX. Thank you. Why don't we read some reviews about this book?
All right, we're gonna read a positive and a negative review. Which one do you want?
I'll do negative.
Negative? Okay. Not Colleen Hoover reviewing this. No,
you have to.
Should I go first?
I'll read mine. Oh, actually, yeah. Go ahead.
Okay, so I'm gonna read Colleen Hoover's review of this book. 5 out of 5. I read this book and then read it backwards, and then read it bottom to top, and then read all the even words, and then read all of the odd words, and then read it underwater. What the fuck?
Okay, Colleen.
Of all the ways I read it, I recommend only reading it from beginning to end. It makes more sense that way and isn't as soggy. 5 stars. Emily Henry wrote this good.
Can I say something?
Yeah.
We usually don't say anything.
We usually don't comment on
What a way. No, we don't comment on
the reviews we read.
What a way to say absolutely nothing about the book. Love that for you, Coho. Did you read it? Okay. The next
She read
one.
it underwater.
Oh, sorry. Negative review comes from May, who gave it a 1 out of 5. If this book was a spice, it'd be flour.
Aww, that is so sweet. Thank you so much for listening. Bye.
Bye.
I think that one was sweet.
Like flour, like harina.
I know. But I want a picture of flour. I want a picture of flour.
Okay, what I said, I don't remember if I said it. Everything's in my mind. This was our last
non-spooky, non-thriller, non-mystery.
I get scared so easily.
You know what's... no. I feel like I don't get scared as easily, but my subconscious does. I'm not going to say it now, but I'm going to say it when we start on our next episode.
Me too.
Shit was happening to me. Okay. Not like super scary, but just a little scary.
Okay, I'm ready.
I think my subconscious is just there.